All right, so I couldn't be happier to have today Wes Hagan and Lene Jacobs, along with Dominique from Bottle Branders. Guys, thank you so much for your time today. Wanted to talk about the Heroes Project and Smashberry wines. Wes, talk a little bit about Smashberry and the wine.
Sure. It was actually a concept that was given to us by one of our distributors in Southern California because they felt that there wasn't wines that were being basically branded and created for young, vibrant, new searchers, people who want to learn about wine, know about wine, be within this whole culture of wine without having to work too hard. I think as Americans, I think we talk about wine too much, ironic as we're sitting here talking about wine. But what I'm really focused on is let's get to table, let's open some wine, and let's look at a bottle of wine as an investment to keeping the people we love at table for an extra hour every day. It's about connection. It's about family. It's about taking a moment for yourself. And Smashberry, as a result, is a concept and a label that is supposed to show fun. It's supposed to be an open idea. It's not supposed to be exclusionary. It's supposed to be it's like salt and pepper on the table. If you've ever been to Italy, if you've ever been to France, they don't talk about wine. They're too busy drinking it and enjoying it. It's just part of table and part of the culture. And that's what we want Smashberry to be. Something easy, fun, delicious, and that'll match with anything you open on a Tuesday night.
Who came up with the name, by the way?
It was actually a gentleman down at Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, an American wine and spirits, who actually came up with the concept. And then the actual entire art, the label only shows part of the art. There's actually an expanded part of that art where the purple and the pink are actually two people in the midst of a tango. That they're actually dancing.
I'll be honest with you. We've had a bunch of calls now.
Yeah.
And I've seen this bottle hanging around my house for the last couple of days. Until you just said that, I didn't even look for it. And it is such a cool thing to know.
Yeah. No, I mean, and again, the whole idea is we were seeing originally the concept was the wine was going to be a little more off dry than it's become. In its 5 or 6 vintages that we've done of this wine, each year the wine has become a little drier. And as a result, right now, as a Merlot dominant based wine, it really is a serious wine with a fun label. So don't let the label make you think that you're looking at something like, Menage a Trois or a Carnivore. This wine is it's fruity, it's bright, it's effusive. You're going to stick your nose in it, and you're going to get all that beautiful, beautiful blackened red berry fruits, a little bit of baking spice, a little hit of oak, but it's juicy, juicy, juicy. It does smell like Smashberry, but if you're expecting it to be a sweet wine, I think this is really a table wine and a wine that's really meant to be opened at table and enjoyed and savored over a few hours of good conversation.
Lene, tell me a little bit about some of the fun things that you've been able to do with Smashberry.
Yeah, since I've been on board with Miller Family Wine, one of the things that we've done is we've been able to expand the SKUs. So we recently launched a rosé. So that's been really fun because I think it really speaks to the lifestyle of the brand. And the rosé has gotten off to a really great start. It received 90 points from Tasting Panel and is being very well received by buyers across the U.S. And then we also have it in a can. And so cans are really popular right now in on-premise and retail and everything. So we have the red blend in a can now. And we'll be launching next year the rosé in a can. So it's really fun to be able to have all the different offerings in terms of the cans and really kind of promoting it as a lifestyle brand. It's one of, I think, our most fun brand in the portfolio. And one really cool thing about it too is it is SIP certified. So I
don't think everyone knows what SIP means.
Yeah, so the trend in the wine industry, as well as food and really anything that you do these days, people are looking for sustainability. Not to be confused with organic, it's not organic, but what SIP certified means, and I'll let Wes chime in too, is really every practice that we do. You can see the little SIP certified label on the bottle. every practice that we do at the winery and in making the wine is done with sustainability in mind. So whether that's in the winery and the light fixtures, whether that's our CO2, recapturing our CO2, whether that's how we treat our workers, because our company, we also farm blueberries, lemons, avocados. We are a year-round company, so we're able to keep those workers on for the grape harvest and for the lemon harvest, all of those things. So it all plays into sustainability, and the way that the treatment of the vines in terms of like owls to get rodents versus really harsh pesticides, we do that. It's really, really cool to be able to represent a wine and to support in a wine that has those type of practices. I know it's something that I look for in my food. So it's good that you have those options in a wine brand as well. Wes, I'm sure you can chime in on some of the SIP certified stuff as well.
So Lene, are you actually telling me that there is a Smashberry team of owls that work for the company?
They get very smashed as they're doing.
Wes, talk a little bit about Miller Family Wines. I know we've talked about the team of owls that they employ, but let's go deeper than just the owls.
Yeah, well, a breeding pair of owls will take up to 30 rodents a night. And if you don't believe it, go under an owl box sometime and you will see a pile 3 feet high of pellets under an active nest. So we're talking 30 rodents a night, and those are the type of employees we like. They're self-eating, self-happy, and the more they eat, the more little babies they make. And if you've ever seen a big owl, oh my goodness. Anyways, so Miller Family Wines. So the Miller family has been farming the Central Coast of California since 1871. We are a fully sort of vertically integrated 5th generation California ag family. And we are 100% family owned, no corporate interest whatsoever. In the 1870s, most of the farming was citrus and tree crops. Now we've made it into branch berries, which are blueberries, blackberries, those type of berries. We are also 2,400 acres under vine since 1973. So 1973, we planted the Bien Nacido vineyard, which is probably one of the most famous vineyards, definitely in Santa Barbara, if not in California. It's always listed in the Grand Crus of California, top 20 vineyards in the United States, top 10 vineyards in California, top 5 Pinot Noir vineyards in the New World. So we have 2,400 acres under vine. We have loads of acres that are dedicated to branch berries, citrus, as well as strawberries. And the nice thing about it is because, as Lene mentioned, because we have all these different farming practices going on, we can keep the same people. We've had people that are 3rd generation workers within our company. So yeah, so I mean, I was actually at this at an event, and then I went and told someone at a market, like, oh, well, my grandmother used to work at Bien Nacido, and all of a sudden you start realizing that the Miller family, when you talk to people that have worked for them, they really do give people a fair deal. And whether we're talking about the dirt or the owls or the people that are working there, it's all well and good. And the more you're integrated in the place you live, our winemaker for the longest time lived on a vineyard, right, or a house right on the vineyard. And when you live on a vineyard, you are walking that vineyard, seeing it every day. There's a great statement that the greatest fertilizer you can use in a vineyard is the vineyard manager's footprints, right? The more integrated you are. And that's why I think it's so important, the sustainable and organic and biodynamic stuff. It's so important to talk about, because what it really is about is engagement. Because if you want to say that believing Rudolf Steiner and being into biodynamics is great for your vineyard, that's great, because that belief will lead you to be more proactive in the way that you farm. And the way that the Millers farm, we do biodynamic, we do sustainable, we do organic, we do some conventional farming, and we try to do it to our clients' needs. And what we're finding now is our clients want sustainable wine. So we work through the Central Coast Vineyard team, which has been around for 25 years, and I've been working with them since they started, as well as the California Association of Wine Growers, to get double certified sustainable. And that's what all the grapes that go into the Smashberry are sustained and certified sustainable by 2 different organizations.
It's funny, the fact that I've now learned all this about Miller and the way they operate, it makes Smashberry a better brand. It literally makes it a more attractive wine. And that is information. That's stuff that you really don't get to learn about a lot of other companies. More or less, even in today's dollar first mentality, do companies actually take the time to care about the product and the people?
And wine is,
else.
of course, and the wine is one of those things that gets a lot of attention. If we were talking about broccoli, I've never seen people at midnight lifting up a stalk of broccoli going, broccoli! You know, people don't get as excited about stuff. I mean, on one hand, we create a product, you know, that is an intoxicant. You have to be careful with it, but it's also an intoxicant that if you use it carefully and manage it in your life, men drinking up to 2 glasses of red wine a day, women, a nice big glass of red wine a day. This can help a human being live 3 to 5 years longer. This is showing reduced mortality across the board. Wine is good for us. You know, I love to tell the story that our liver produces an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme 1. And that enzyme is 10% of your liver's enzymatic function is to produce this enzyme. That enzyme only has one job, and that is to search the human bloodstream for alcohol, to knock a hydrogen ion off of that alcohol molecule to make it aldehydic, and then to make it an acetate so the human body can absorb it as energy. So if you are a religious person, you were created to use alcohol on a regular basis. If you're a humanist or an evolutionist, your body has evolved over hundreds of millions of years to use alcohol as a serious form of nutriment in your life. I like to use the 10% rule. If 10% of my liver's function is to produce that enzyme, then I should be taking 10% of my calorie intake daily in the form of red wine, which is exactly the amount I need to give myself the full health benefit, about a glass and a half.
So if I'm drinking 2 gallons of water a day, I should have at least 10% of that become wine. And in this
Indeed,
raspberry, right?
We're calling that's the way I like to tithe. Absolutely. Jesus turns 10% of my water into wine. Again, careful, because my grandfather was a minister, and I do know my scripture.
Okay, so God wants people to buy Smashberry wine. Is that what you're saying?
Well, God wants us to be happy, and that's what Benjamin Franklin said. Wine is proof that God exists and wants to make us happy.
It is true. So we started this project, Shop for Heroes, basically the Heroes brand, and Miller has stepped up and become the first brand partner. Lene, talk a little bit about what it means to you, why Miller and Smashberry is doing this to help support frontline heroes, military heroes, people that are being selfless and making everyday sacrifices in this current crisis.
Yeah, definitely. I know when I first heard about this project, I was really excited and passionate about doing something with our wine that was doing good for others. You know, I've my whole life or my whole career, I've been in spirits or wine, and I always prided myself whenever I had the opportunity to partner for charities or other things. Spirits can do a lot of good in those facets. Sometimes your everyday life of what you're doing, you're like, what am I doing good for people? So when these opportunities come up, I get really excited. This one in particular, I think in all of our lifetimes, obviously the Corona and COVID and everything is the most impactful on all of us. And, you know, I'm a mom of 3, and I see some of those nurses and doctors, and, you know, they are putting their family, you know, on the back burner to help others. And I can't imagine doing that. When I see people doing that, it takes a special person. So that really hits home with me, being a mother and seeing, you know, all these people. And I think we all know friends and families that are doing that. And that's really what this project is for.
You know, we're doing something interesting with the label, and we're creating a space where people can put the name of a hero and do social media outreach when they get the bottle of wine to them. If you were to fill in the space right now, what cause or what person would you fill in there?
You know, somebody that comes directly to mind, and I do talk about the nurses and doctors and all that, but I will say I have a coworker that works with us here, and her wife is a police officer, And because I'm close with her and hear her worry and concern on a daily basis, and she works here with us, her name's Lainey. I think that would be the first one to dedicate that to her. She really is close to our business and to our friend and colleague here at Miller Family Wine.
Now, that makes it interesting, doesn't it? Because you're now literally connecting a bottle of wine to an actual human being that is a hero.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Great. Yes, I love, like I said, the fact that we can do good with wine and promote an initiative and support people that are out there making a real difference. Makes you feel really good, and it's a wonderful way to promote this project.
Wes, same question for you. You get the bottle of Smashberry, it's got a space in the middle. What cause or what person would you put in that space to honor and commemorate as a hero?
Well, a little bit of context. The first thing I really thought about is what is my definition of a hero and where did it come from? And it really comes from my grandfather. Both of them. Both of my grandfathers fought in World War II. Both were in the Pacific. Both were in the Navy. And as a result, that was a sacrifice. And it's odd to say that this is our generation's sacrifice and this is our generation's test. To a certain extent it is, which should teach us just how safe we are. In the sense that when something like this hits us and all of a sudden the heroes emerge, not only it really matters that those heroes are doing what they do. And for me, it's even more important because I'm a type 1 diabetic, which means my percentage of having an issue if I end up getting COVID would be 20, 25 times more than the general population. So first of all, thank you to everybody who's out there putting on a uniform, everyone who's putting on a mask, everyone who's delivering my food. Everyone's a hero. So first thing I want to do is just write everyone who's taking care of me in big black letters right across that bottle. But if I had to choose one person, it would be between my friend Eric O'Brien and my friend Josh Niermeyer. Eric is a educator. He's a chef educator in San Luis Obispo at the state prison. So he's going into the prison every day to teach inmates how to cook food, to be self-sufficient, and hopefully to have a job when they get out. That's a huge moment, and I think he deserves a hero hat and a bottle of wine, and he does enjoy his wine. And then my friend Josh, who is a sheriff for the San Diego Sheriff's Department, and Josh is also a type 1 diabetic. And he, unlike me, staying in my house waiting for people to deliver me stuff, is going out, and he is that thin blue line that's keeping everybody safe out there. And thank you, Josh, and thank you, Eric, and thank you, Granddaddy, and thanks, Poppy Ben, and thanks to everyone who taught me what it means to be a hero. And if I can make a little wine and put it out into the world and give people an hour or two to have a sip and watch a show and relax after a hard day of putting themselves on that front line, that's the greatest thing that I can say as someone who just makes semi-fancy booze for semi-fancy folks for a living. So thank you. Thank you, each and every hero out there. And the mothers and the fathers, mothers trying to teach math to their kids. I retired early from a very lucrative career in public education. I taught high school English for 3 years, and the kids drove me to drink, and I went pro, and it worked out for me. But boy, my next door neighbor's a teacher. He's a hero just because he basically is having the kids in the neighborhood come over and he's taking care of some of them. So, maybe that's not the best way to sequester, but it is a great way to show the community and our neighborhood some love. So thanks to everybody who's making a difference out there. This is a big moment for all of us. And I hope whatever's happening in our community continues to happen in our community once we can go around and actually start spending time with each other and being in proximity.
Dominique, talk about what it means to you and some of the projects you've done with Bottle Brander. Who would you commemorate as a hero on the bottle?
Who I would commemorate, honestly, is my mom. She is babysitting for somebody who is working a few jobs right now, struggling, and trying to help that way. And my family as well is all military, so military, cops. My father was a firefighter. I really feel for all the frontline workers. So that's who I would commemorate. My mom and my parents, both of my grandparents are dead, but I like the everybody concept because it's true. Even the people that are working bagging our food and all that. It takes bravery to take care of everybody. So I have a lot of respect for people who put the action in. So that's what I would do.
Well, I think we've got a great winery involved in this project in Miller, and you have a world-class product in Smashberry. And I think that the cause that we're supporting, and the cause is, and the people that we're supporting through this project will be socially engaging, socially fun, and socially good. And I can't wait as we start to roll out this project over the next week to 10 days. I know we're working on getting the cocoa?
The cola.
Cola.
Certificate of label approval.
Lene, do you know how that's coming along?
Yeah, I know it's all been submitted, so it's just at the hands of the approval and getting that all back. So it's all in motion.
Cool. So as we roll out this project and we move forward, I couldn't be happier to work with Miller and the Smashberry product. I think over the next 18 months, we're going to have a really good opportunity to do some good for people that are truly heroes in this time where people are losing their jobs, where people are stuck at home, where kids need a teacher over a Zoom call. Those teachers are in their own way a hero. Those doctors, those nurses, those military people, they are the heroes that deserve a little bit of recognition. And, putting their name on a bottle of wine, giving them PPE or gift cards or even bottles of wine as a thank you. I think honoring and thanking these people over the next 18 months should be the job of everybody out there that's benefiting from these heroes.
Absolutely.
Three more.
Lene, Wes, if you were going to tell people one last thing on why this project in Smashberry is going to be such a big win, what would you say to them?
Well,
I would just say, I think it's a great partnership. I think people, one, will really enjoy the wine. I think the initiative and the cause for all of this is something that's so important right now. And I think, as we all just illustrated, we all have a hero, whether it's your next door neighbor, a family member, whatnot. There's so many people that we can honor. And I think the initiative is a wonderful initiative. And I think everybody will really enjoy the wine with it as well.
Wes, you wanted to say something?
Sure. Well, larger context. I mean, ever since the Enlightenment, we've been living longer. We've been healthier. We've had better outcomes for disease and all of these things. We have been moving towards this moment in time where we're living the greatest moment in human history. We have this little hiccup, and what I'm seeing is humanity, humanism, kindness, compassion coming back to the world in a huge way. So what outlines that compassion to me in a personal way is the way that I spend time at table with the people in my life. And the more I can spend time at table, and if we can give people that moment at table with delicious things, love, and wine, that's to me when the greatest moments that I've ever had, occur. It's when we have these social connections. It's when we have these spiritual connections. It's when we have these connections and we laugh and we lose the worry. And that's what I want these wines to be. I want them to be a conduit to happiness and a conduit to that safety that we are, that is overwhelming us, and we don't feel it right now because we feel a little uncertain. So let's have a drink, let's chill out, let's have some fun, let's get together, and let's celebrate the people that are keeping us safe. And as we move toward safety again, if that's not a reason to celebrate, what is?
She is Lene Jacobs. He is Wes Hagen. They are Miller Wine. This is Smashberry, and I couldn't be happier to have you guys on board with the Heroes Project. You're both amazing. Thanks for your time today. Peace out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.